de mi corazón.
Hey, Congressman. Good morning.
Morning.
From Turning Point headquarters here. I wanted to give you just an opportunity. I know that you knew Charlie extremely well. I know that Charlie was planning events with you in Florida. I know that Charlie endorsed your campaign for governor. I want to give you just an opportunity to tell the audience, what Charlie meant to you, and eulogize him for just a bit.
Honestly, it's really hard. It's good to be with you, Benny.
Yeah.
I always judge people, especially in politics, by how they treat people when the cameras are not running.
Yes.
And Charlie he was a great man, great human being. I remember, when I first met him, it was my first Turning Point, maybe 5 years ago, out in Arizona. And I never met him before. Obviously, you heard about him if you've been in politics long enough. And the way he treated me, a freshman congressman that many people did not know, was with a lot of just respect, humility. He really opened the doors to me. And that's who he was. He was that way to everybody. And, our relationship grew over the years. Really blessed to have counted him as a friend. My wife, Erica, got a chance to know Erica Kirk, and try to spend as little time as you could, because everybody's crisscrossing and schedules are crazy. But he is a great man. And I think the thing that's most frustrating with how the radical left tries to look at Charlie is they look at his arguments, but they try to ignore the humanity. And that's the biggest issue we're having right now in politics, in my view, is that people ignore the humanity of people. But I know for a fact that people that have met Charlie Kirk, have dealt with Charlie Kirk on a personal level, they all swear by his character, his humility, his humanity, and his value set. Not just somebody who believes in conservatism and conservative policies and putting the country first, but a Christian of the highest order who lived it, who walked that life. That's who he was. And I think, man, it's still tough to even say was, to be honest with you, Benny. That's who he is. And that's how I always will remember Charlie Kirk.
It's alive here, actually. I came here this morning, Congressman. This is my first time at Turning Point headquarters since Charlie's political assassination. And the memory and energy of Charlie is actually still here, and it's inspiring to me. The memorial stretches for miles out front of the building. It's 20 feet deep, and it's nothing but American flags. The cops, you've been to Turning Point headquarters before?
Yeah, I've been there.
The cops have had to shut down the entire city block, which is like a quarter of a mile, for the size of the memorial. There are 2 police cars stationed at each end of this entire massive block here in Phoenix. Here in Phoenix, it's like the desert, right? So these city blocks are just enormous.
Right.
And it's, I didn't know what to expect, but I want to talk about this fight, this cultural fight that now the mantle falls to people like yourself to take up in Charlie's memory. And that energy is like still there, like a proper martyr. It's more powerful now, arguably maybe than ever.
Well, the first thing I'll say is, when you see, that many people come out to show their respect for Charlie, it's not just about his positions. It's not. It's about the man. And what you see there is a depth of love for the man that has touched so many lives in so many different ways, help people start careers, platform people. And I want to be straight. He didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. That was the mission that God had him on. He chose to be that person. He chose to follow Christ, and he chose to share his light with the world and really put a lot of people ahead of himself and ahead of his family. And that's why you see that kind of love and support come out for him. I think in terms of taking a mantle, Charlie's a one of one. He's one of one. You're not going to replace him. I firmly believe that he's irreplaceable, but I think everybody deciding to be in the fight, quote unquote, and stand firm on principle and stand firm on the Judeo-Christian value system and on Western civilization. I think that's how we honor him. We all take our responsibilities even more seriously. I truly believe, Benny, you're never going to replace Charlie. He's irreplaceable. To start an organization like Turning Point at 18 years old, to grow it to what it became. I remember during the inauguration, I said to him, we would not have won without him. We would not have won without him. I firmly believe that. What he's meant, not just to the conservative movement, but really to the fabric of American politics, reinvigorating debate and speech, engaging young people, it's going to require so many people to take seriously their politics in order to truly acknowledge the legacy of Charlie Kirk.
Yes. One of the final text messages I had with Charlie Kirk was working on planning some youth events at football games in Florida with you, Congressman, for your gubernatorial race. It's something that we were actively working on. It's like the cultural energy that Charlie was constantly bringing, and he would love cultural victories. And in this room where I am right now, like, we planned constantly, and Charlie talked constantly about cultural victories, being able to have the power as a movement to stand up for this country that is in our majority. Donald Trump won the popular vote. Donald Trump won 7 swing states. Donald Trump won 90% of American counties in this country. And those people have no power in entertainment. They have no power in media. So we plotted in this room where I am right now, so many long hours into the small hours of the morning. How do we fix that? How do we start podcasts, start shows like the one we're on right now, like the Charlie Kirk show that was a mammoth? Like, this was the room that I actually logged Charlie into Instagram for the first time. He's like, what's Instagram? Right? And now look where we're at. And so now Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, I'm telling you, this is something that Charlie is smiling down from heaven at, because we are enforcing a cultural, moral standard that you are not allowed to lie about somebody, and you are not allowed to victim blame and continue this poison, which is what Jimmy Kimmel did. I want to get your top line on that, Congressman, because you know what government censorship looks like. We've posted from the Judiciary Committee multiple screenshots of what the Biden administration was doing to censor Charlie.
Right.
They were using the full force of the government to tell social media to rip Charlie off the internet. We have the documents. So the left is screaming about censorship. Did they help you here, Congressman? Like, fight this censorship? Or are they all frauds?
Number one, they're all frauds. Not only did they try to stop the Biden administration from censoring not just you or Charlie or President Trump or anybody else, they were fully in support of censoring all of America when it came to COVID-19, getting real information out there to people, the negative impacts of lockdowns, the negative impacts of lockdowns on schools, the negative impacts of forcing vaccine mandates on our soldiers, trying to force them on employers. These are the same Democrats that wanted to spy on the bank accounts of every American citizen. This is what they proposed out of the Biden administration, and the Democrats were all for it until they got pushback from Americans who vote Democrat, pushed back, and that's when they stopped. So when it comes to this Jimmy Kimmel situation, I'm not listening to the radical left. They have shown and proven that they will stoop to any level, any deep level in order to maintain power. That's who they are. With respect to Jimmy, look, here's the deal. His ratings are down. The show was not good. And then he obviously defamed MAGA and defamed more than half the country at this point, trying to blame us and trying to blame Charlie for his assassination. It's insane. So, of course, Disney was listening to the feedback they were getting from the marketplace. And look, this is consistent in any business, any sports team, or anywhere else. Your talent only will take you as far until your distractions outweigh your talent. And the truth is that Jimmy Kimmel's talent was not bigger than the distractions that he was causing. And at this point, him lying about the truth about Charlie Kirk's assassination was literally the straw that told Disney, you know what? Time to sit you down. That's what happened. Trying to blame shift, trying to blame the FCC commissioner. That's what the left always does. They're trying to point the finger at somebody else instead of acknowledging the fact that Jimmy's show was not good. His ratings were down, and Disney's looking around and saying, We can't afford to lose sponsorships. We can't afford our affiliates to now basically go dark on our programming. You know what, Jimmy Kimmel? You're not that good. We got to sit you down.
It's a free market decision.
Yeah.
We're happy to assist in that free market decision. We were like very proud of that interview. And that was a great interview by the FCC chairman. And people don't understand the nuance here. They get a FCC license. The ABC broadcasts on the backs of lavish taxpayer goodies. And as you know, Congressman, working in the government, are you on your third or fourth term? Like, as you know, when you get taxpayer dollars, there are strings that come with those. And part of those strings is you are going to be broadcasting in the public interest. Now, CBS learned this when they edited a Kamala Harris clip. They edited a Kamala Harris answer in 60 Minutes. And they edited it so that it was kind of cogent on Israel and Palestine. And it wasn't actually. And CBS had to pay dearly for it. It's the exact same thing. And it's something that is a special license that's given. I don't expect them to understand the nuance of that. But the entire debate is utterly bemusing and fraudulent from the left because they've done it to comics. I mean, it's like, do they remember Roseanne?
Yeah.
Or Tim Allen? Or do they remember what they did to Dave Chappelle? Dave Chappelle's or Kill Tony. You spoke at that, didn't you? Didn't you speak at Madison Square Garden? Like, Kill Tony told a hilarious joke and they tried to end the election over it.
Yeah, I was there. I was in Madison Square Garden. By the way, I didn't think the joke was that funny because I heard it and I was like, ooh, well, okay. But what they tried to do,
the entire set was good. I thought the set was hilarious.
The set was good. I didn't think the joke was that funny. But that being said, what happened was they tried to make the entire event about that.
Yeah.
Benny, you were there.
Yeah.
We basically had everybody, basically half the cabinet spoke at this thing. The cabinet that's there now with the president, Melania came out, and you know that Melania does not do a lot of events. She came out and spoke at this event. It was a wonderful event. It was a point of pride for me because I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So to be able to speak at Madison Square Garden was just like a personal point of privilege for me. And for the media to try to distill it down to what Kill Tony said in one segment at the beginning of the entire event demonstrates how much the political left and the mainstream media will go to defame conservatives and to defame MAGA. They do not care about free speech. They care about instilling their speech, and they do not want opposition. That's the truth. That's what goes on in America media today. And it's your show, Charlie's show. It's conservatives and people who just believe in the Bill of Rights of our Constitution and believe in the fabric of America who now have platforms. They are pushed back. And the impact of that on American politics has the left in a real tizzy because they don't know what to do when they actually have competition and they're held accountable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what's happening now for the first time in my lifetime or yours, Congressman. Holding accountable. Last question for you. Ilhan Omar. So the vote to censure her failed. And then because Congress refused to hold Ilhan Omar accountable, now she's out saying this. I have a 10-second clip to play for you. Want to get your reaction to Ilhan Omar talking about Charlie Kirk yesterday.
I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
Thank you. Charlie Kirk hasn't even been buried yet, and Ilhan Omar is out saying that people are full of shit, and I'm just quoting this congresswoman, trying to rewrite this hateful man's history. So this is what happens when there's no accountability.
Listen, when it comes to free speech, I'm an absolutist. This is where I do have a lot of libertarian leanings. What she said is disgusting and detestable. She didn't know the man. And I think, look, when somebody dies, especially as horrific as what happened to Charlie Kirk, the dead are not around to defend themselves. And I think there is a semblance of decency and morality you got to have. People have died that I don't agree with. I don't run around talking about their legacy because they're not here anymore. You have to let the people who love them, who knew them, actually lay out their legacy. I think that's just a decent thing to do. So for Ilhan and others on the left who decided they're going to use this as an ability to lay a new political narrative, I just find it to be disgusting and reprehensible. You just don't do that. There are some lines you just don't cross. And to be blunt, I think the American people see this. They realize how nasty this is. And this is why, forget policy for a moment. This is why the Democrats are not going to get power again for quite some time into the United States until they deal with the disgusting rot that exists in their party.
Should Ilhan Omar be censored? I mean, what should happen?
I voted for it. I
Yeah.
wanted her to be censored.
Yeah.
I think she should.
Yes. Congressman and future governor of Florida, Byron Donalds, a dear friend of our program, a dear friend of Charlie Kirk. One of the last things that Charlie and I were working on was actually a Florida tour with the congressman. We got to make that actually happen. We got to make that happen, Byron. Please follow Byron Donalds. Right here is his X account. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure that we are giving power to those who give power back to the people. 1.1 million subscribers for Byron Donalds here, a true fighter in the form of Charlie Kirk. God bless you.
Thank you. See you, Benny. Take it easy. God bless everybody.